His word Quran, Muhammad Prophet, praise be upon him. I am Muslim for all of time. Look at me now, family around my deathbed, I know not when Allah will call me home. The life I led, oh what a blessed thing.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walah wa man attaba'a hudah ila yawmiddin. Amma ba'd. My dear brothers and sisters and dear viewers, we mentioned and talked in the previous episode about the importance of the knowledge in the Quran, and one has to seek the knowledge that brings him closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and put that knowledge into practice and implement it in his life or her life. Today, inshallah, we will continue the topic that seeking the knowledge is incumbent upon every Muslim, male or female. There are numerous narrations in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ which encourage the Muslims, both males and females, to seek the knowledge. Here in Hadith in Sahih Imam Bukhari, the Prophet ﷺ tells us about what will happen towards the end of time. He said, one of the signs of the hour is that the ilm, the knowledge, shall be taken away and ignorance shall reign supreme. Now this hadith that the Prophet ﷺ prophesies that this prophecy, that it is now being fulfilled. Many scholars have passed away, and everyone, towering figures, they are towering figures. Each one of them, he left behind him huge vacuum that needs many students of knowledge and advanced students of knowledge to fill that vacuum. And only now handfuls of Muslim scholars are still alive. And most of them, they are very old. They are almost saying goodbye. So imagine an ummah, a nation without scholars. It's so threatening, so alarming. So we need to have the students of knowledge. We need to encourage the Muslim youth to seek the ilm. This ummah needs scholars more than it needs doctors and engineers. We have many doctors, we have many engineers, we have in all disciplines. But when it comes to the ilm, to understanding the deen, there are very few. We have many PhD holders, but they don't know even how to read Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And they are called Muslims. They don't know the deen. They don't know their Islam. Only their names are Muslims. So here Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is telling us, one of the signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah, of the hour, is that the ilm, the knowledge, the religious knowledge, the knowledge about the deen shall be taken away. How that knowledge can be taken away? By the death of the ulama, by the death of the scholars. A scholar dies, the knowledge goes along with him. Don't you know, my dear brothers and sisters, there were more than 4 madhabs before. Many madhabs they were there. Why now we have only 4 famous? What happened to the rest? Where is madhab Sufyan al-Thawri? Where is madhab al-Layth ibn Sa'd? There were many madhabs. Because the students of such scholars, they were not active. They were lazy. They didn't compile the works of their scholars, and they didn't carry on teaching the knowledge that they learned from their scholars to their students until the madhab becomes famous. Whereas the students of the four imams, they carried on working and carrying on the teachings of their imams. That's why we have four madhabs. Though before, there were many more than four madhabs. So when the scholar goes away, dies, and he didn't leave behind him students, the knowledge dies. The ilm dies along with the scholar. So this is what the Prophet ﷺ is referring to. And you can imagine if an ummah without ulama will end up a blind leading another blind, a blind leading another blind. Also, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, and this is in Bukhari and Muslim, "Man yuridillahu bihi khayra yufaqqihu fi ddin." Whomsoever Allah desires to favor, He gives him the understanding of the deen, the religion, al-Islam. So if Allah wishes you khair, desires you some good, He gives you this fiqh, the understanding of the deen. Because Allah gives the dunya to anyone, Muslims, non-Muslims alike, because the dunya is nothing. But when it comes to the understanding of the deen, the fiqh, the ilm, He gives only to those whom He loves. That's why the Prophet ﷺ, when he prayed for his cousin, Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said, "Allahumma faqihhu fi ddin wa allimhu at-ta'wil." He prayed for his own cousin. He said, "Oh Allah, faqihhu, give him the fiqh, give him the deep knowledge, the profound knowledge of Islam, the fiqh, deep understanding, not superficial one. What ta'wil, the tafsir of the Quran." And alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted the da'wah, the supplication of the Prophet ﷺ regarding Ibn Abbas. And Ibn Abbas, mashallah, became a scholar in the tafsir. And he is known as the Turjuman al-Quran, Abdullah ibn Abbas. And my dear brothers and sisters, if we really want to serve our deen, every family should say we should have alim in our family. You have 5 children, one of them alim. Say, I want you to study deen, al-Islam, to become faqih, to become muhaddith, to become mufassir. One child, every family. But unfortunately, what we do, all the children, this is a doctor, this is an engineer, this is a pilot, this is this. What is that? No one for the deen? No zakah? Give one child as zakah. So if we follow this, at least every family, they should one alim. That's how we can have ulama who will lead the ummah. But if there are no ulama, we will be in really great danger. Another hadith in Tirmidhi, the Prophet ﷺ said, and this talks about the merit and the virtue of the talab al-ilm, or seeking the knowledge. He who travels to seek knowledge, in fact, is striving in the path of Allah till he returns. So the one who is traveling to seek the ilm is striving in the path of Allah, struggling in the path of Allah. He's mujahid. The ulama, they are the mujahid, because they lead the ummah, they guide the ummah, they have the vision, so they know how to guide people to the right path. In another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ talks about the status of the scholars. He said, the learned man is superior to the worshipper, similar to my superiority to the lowest rank amongst you. This is in Tirmidhi. Verily Allah, His angels, and the earthly creatures, even ants in their holes, and fish, all bless the teacher who teaches people goodness and virtue. Subhanallah. Listen to this. Said the status of the learned man, the status of the learned man to the worshipper. If you have two to compare them, a learned man and a worshipper, the learned man is superior to the worshipper, like the superiority of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ to the rest of us. My dear brothers and sisters, stay tuned. We'll be back, inshallah, after the break.
Islam came to promote the equality of all humans. There is no difference between a black and a white,
Sheikh Al
an Arab or a non-Arab. And this was manifested by the Prophet ﷺ's teaching.
striving for the oppressed,
The first thing he did was to spread justice and fairness among all.
guiding the misled wrongdoers, caring, forgiving, and humanitarian, saving people from hellfire.
Allah tells us that He is the mercy to the world.
Watch our unique series on the exemplary character of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who was indeed a mercy to the worlds. Every Sunday at 3 p.m. and repeat telecast at 1 a.m. India on Peace TV.
What would you recommend?
Peace TV presents
Something
What do you have to say about
Learning the Wise Way.
What would you recommend us to take as career?
after we pass our school, so what exactly we should do? What do you have to say about pursuing two fields together?
Ideas brilliant. Strategy sustained.
The best profession is a profession of a person who invites people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Avail the opportunity with Dr. Zakir.
Depending upon what is your interest. But the main aim should be to spread the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
To implement the convincing Islamic educational formula to excel in your career. Watch Career Guidance every Friday at 6:30 p.m. and repeat telecast at 9:30 a.m. India on Peace TV. Different people, one God.
The Prophet ﷺ told us what is lawful is clear.
Many beliefs united in humanity. Various prejudices. Justice universal.
And what is unlawful is clear.
Let's overcome our shortcomings to attain peace.
The Prophet ﷺ left everything well explained and manifest for all of us.
Dr. Muhammad Saeed.
Welcome to the Prophet Teacher.
Let's learn about the message of God for mankind and its exemplary implementation as the Prophet Teaches. Every Monday at 3 p.m. and repeat telecast at 1 a.m. India on Peace TV. Soothing verses, awakening contents.
Unlock your hearts. Let us start to reflect and interact with the glorious Quran through simple and interactive grammar exercises.
Explore the secrets of success that exist in the blessed lines of the Holy Quran.
Using what you recite every day and night, learn 250 words that occur 55,000 times, or 70% words of the Quran. Let's understand the Quran.
Let's join Dr. Abdul Aziz Abdul Rahim in Let's Understand the Quran, next on Peace TV.
Welcome back, my dear brothers and sisters and dear viewers. We were discussing before the break the superiority of the learned men, the scholars. And in this beautiful hadith in Tirmidhi, the Prophet ﷺ, he made this comparison between the learned man compared to others. He said, his superiority like mine to yours. So the scholars, they have this noble status, high status. We should always look up to the scholars. We should respect them, because the scholars indeed are the inheritors of prophets. So the true inheritors of the prophets, because the prophets, when they pass away, they do not bequeath wealth, money, but what they leave behind, the legacy that they leave behind, is the ilm, the knowledge itself. So who inherits this knowledge? The scholars. So always respect the Muslim scholars, the people of knowledge. Don't try to belittle them, because they are the inheritors of the prophets, warathatul anbiya. Of course, we're not saying that scholars are infallible, ma'sumin, no. They are human beings, but should be respected. And at the same time, scholars, they do make mistakes. We don't follow them blindly. We follow them as long as what they say is in line with the Kitab and Sunnah. As long as what they say complies to the Kitab and Sunnah. One day, Imam Malik rahimahullah ta'ala said, every scholar and everyone, his words, كُلٌّ يُؤْخَذْ مِنْ قَوْلِهِ وَيُتْرَكْ إِلَّا صَاحِبْ هَذَا الْقَبْرِ. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, everyone words can be accepted or rejected, depending how close his words and sayings to the evidence, to the revelation, Kitab and Sunnah, except the one who's there. And he pointed towards the grave of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we have to respect the ulama. Then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentions the reward that scholars, they reap and they get. He said, the angels, the malaika in heaven, all the creatures on earth, even the ants in their holes, the whales in the sea, they all pray for the one who teaches the people. Can you imagine? The angels are praying for you, the creatures are praying for you, the fish pray for you, the ants pray for you, because you are educating the people, teaching them good, taking them in the right direction, inviting them and guiding them to worship their Creator in the right way. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in His book, this is Surah Al-Zumar, Surah 39, verse 9, قُلْ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ إِنَّمَا يَتَذَكَّرُ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. Say, are those who know equal to those who do not know? It's only men of understanding who will remember. So those who know, they're not the same like those who do not know. Today, again, remember that the ignorance today of many people is compound. In any gathering, people are chatting. Ask any question about Islam, and you'll see everyone answers from every corner. No, it is haram, halal, haram, though all of them are ignorant. But the people of knowledge, the ulama, are the ones who understand. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, قُلْ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Say, are they equal? No, they are not. So when it comes to the deen, ask the ulama. Someone will say, well, in Islam we don't have clergymen or ulama deen like in Christianity. Yes, that's true, but we have fuqaha, we have scholars. You have to ask them. We have the people of dhikr. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْر. Ask the people of knowledge if you don't understand. إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. So when it comes to the deen, everyone can give anything. No. For instance, I'll tell you this. If you are sitting in front of a doctor and you are sick, and he diagnoses and asks you a few questions and diagnosed your situation, and he concluded, sometimes maybe the diagnosis could be right or wrong. So then after that, he wrote the prescription. If you say, doctor, why did you write this type of medicine, not that medicine? He will look at you in your eyes, and then he will ask you, Are you a doctor? Are you a doctor? No. Said, okay, I know my business. Just take this medicine. And that's it. You will not argue. Because he is the doctor. He studied medicine. You didn't study medicine, did you? And you will keep quiet. Why, when it comes to the deen, you want to answer? Did you study the deen? No. Then listen to the experts. So we have to listen and respect the experts, the specialist, everyone in his field. Another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says, this is in Bukhari. He says, "Man aada li waliyan faqad adhantahu bil harb." I will declare, this is hadith Qudsi, by the way, hadith Qudsi, because the hadith are two types, hadith Qudsi and Nabawi. The sayings of the Prophet ﷺ, this is called Nabawi, hadith Nabawi, or prophetic traditions. Another type of hadith is the sacred hadith or hadith Qudsi, in which the Prophet ﷺ would say, Allah said this. So this is hadith Qudsi. Allah is threatening, saying, I will wage and declare war on whoever shows hostility to a pious worshipper of mine, to a wali, a close friend of mine. So who's the wali? Who's the wali? Is the wali that one who has mausoleum, grave, and the people, they go around his grave and make tawaf like the Kaaba? This the wali? The people go to his grave and ask him everything, anything they want, instead of asking Allah. This is shirk. This is unforgivable sin. Yes, he's wali, maybe he's a pious person, righteous, alhamdulillah, but we don't ask him. Is the wali the one who walks in the water or flies? No. Listen to what Imam Shafi'i said. إذا رأيتم الرجل يطير في الهواء أو يمشي على الماء فلا تصدقوه حتى تعرضوه على الكتاب والسنة. Imam Shafi'i said, if you see the man flying in the sky or walking in the water, do not believe him. Don't believe him till you check him according to Kitab and Sunnah. Then he said, Al-ulama'u humul awliya. Al-ulama, the scholars, are Allah's awliya. Then he said, if the scholars are not Allah's awliya, I know no wali. I know no wali. So the wali is the scholar, those who follow the Kitab and Sunnah. The Prophet ﷺ said, as in Abu Dawood, and we mentioned it also, I think, in the episode. The Prophet ﷺ said, the scholars are the Prophet's heirs, the Prophet's inheritors. And verily, the Prophets did not bequeath a dinar or dirham, but they bequeathed knowledge. So whoever takes it, indeed very fortunate. So the ulama are the ones who inherit this knowledge, this legacy of the scholars. Then he said also, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in another hadith, which is in Ahmad and Al-Hakim, he is not one of us who neither respects our elders nor loves our young ones and does not know the value of our scholars. This is very scary hadith. If you don't respect the elders, an old man has gray hair, at least respect him for the gray hairs he has. Respect him for that. Nor loves our young ones, the small kids, the children. They should have rahmah. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Sahaba, they used to bring their own children to him. The moment even they are born, they bring the children with dates. He would chew the date and put it in the mouth of the child. And then they bring up them when they are toddlers, etc. So the Prophet ﷺ, he would play with the kids, with the children. The little girl, the moment she would see a Prophet ﷺ walking, he would grab the Prophet ﷺ by his hand and he would follow her. So this is the rahmah that you should have for children in Islam. So if you don't have this rahmah, kindness in your heart, towards the children, then the Prophet ﷺ said, he is not one of us. And then he mentioned the one who doesn't respect the scholars. Today, do we respect our scholars? Some, they say, scholars for dollars. I have heard some of them saying that. Scholars for dollars. They talked about imams, towering figures, because they have no taqwa. They have no fear. Imam al-Dhahabi said, the flesh of the scholars is so poisonous. If you eat the flesh of the scholar, that is fatal. May Allah purify our hearts, and may Allah grant us the love for the scholars, and may Allah make us follow their footsteps, and may Allah increase our knowledge and fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My dear brothers and sisters and dear viewers, we'll meet insha'Allah by the grace of Allah in the coming episode. Till then, fi amanillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I am a Muslim, Islam my deen, Allah my Lord, His word Quran, Muhammad Prophet, praise be upon Him. I am Muslim for all of time. Look at me now, family around my deathbed, I know not when Allah will call me home. The life I led, oh what a blessed thing. As death comes to me, these words I will sing. I am a Muslim.
Judaism